everything that I can do.
Yay. Okay, I can do it now. All right. Well, welcome to the team call. It is Sunday, January 24th. We are in the last week of our Leader in Action Forum. I'm so excited about this week. This has been an incredible month. We've seen so many things take place with our collagen launch. And this is just the beginning. So if you feel like you missed out on something, you feel like it wasn't what you thought it would be, or you feel like you're behind, don't. Because this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. This is a product that is going to revolutionize how we do business, but you're not defined by any one month. We know that. Our goal for you, my goal for you as a leader, is to watch you truly see what consistent action over time can do for your business. And this is a, I don't want to say gateway drug, but this is a gateway product if you've struggled to serve people with the nutrition, because it is an outside result very quickly. Whereas the nutrition, like you're feeling good, but sometimes you don't see the results right away. So this is a gateway into the nutrition. This is a great way to get people into our community, to serve them, to help them get started, and then share things that have, oh, very nice. Share things that have helped you over the last several months with your own personal journey. So this is a good way for us to really tap into the mindset piece behind this, because we know that any kind of change, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all of those changes start outwardly, and then they take time to get inward. So today we're going to talk about how to really get clear on what it is that we're doing, how we serve, how to validate ourselves so we feel comfortable offering people our services. Cynthia and I talked the other day, and it was like an hour and a half long, and it was like the most just mind-blowing, because we got to the heart of some very simple but common issues that most of us struggle with. Not feeling like we're enough, not feeling validated with what we do, not feeling like we know who we're trying to serve. So we're speaking to everyone and we're frustrated because the results that we're looking for are not there. And it's not necessarily that you're wrong. It may just be that you're talking to the wrong people, or you are trying to speak to everyone instead of niching down. I don't know how to say that word ever, but niching down into speaking to a few people who are your people. When Cynthia shared her little script with us the other day in the Telegram app about how she talks to people, she knows who she's talking to. She knows how she can serve them. She validates what she offers them with the experience that she's had personally and professionally. So I'm excited for her to dive into this. Cynthia, if you'll come off mute and tell us a little bit about what you do, the kind of coaching that you offer, and how this all started for you.
How like 20 years ago started, or how Isogenic started?
Either. Let's start with 20 years ago and how you kind of started to dive into the mindset.
Okay, yeah. So I have been an entrepreneur, had my own business for, gosh, 25 years now. So that's always been something that I've been very passionate about. I love to shop that way. I love to support people that way. I love to have businesses and empower people to have their own. So that way they are always making choices that are best for their family. So I just love helping people live out their real core personal desires and getting really clear on what those things are, so that way I can support them, whether it be an extra $500 a month, or maybe they want a full-time income, or whatever it is that they want. I want to help them get really clear that the things that they're doing are keeping them in alignment with their core desired feelings, is what I like to call them. So, because I think that is in direct alignment to how we were created and how we're supposed to show up in the world and how we're supposed to serve others. So 20 years I've been doing that. My first network marketing business, I worked up to the top 100 in the company. So I was doing all the things and having a really good time doing it. I was making good income. I was supporting a large team. All those things were really wonderful until I had my third and fourth child. And then I was like, that business in particular took a lot of time. And I said I never wanted to have a network marketing business again, because my experience was that it took a lot of time. And then I started really kind of detoxifying my house and figuring out what types of things were not serving us and in our health. And so I started removing a lot of fragrance. If it had the word fragrance on it, I took it out of our house. and our health improved so dramatically. So I started really diving into what I knew to be true, which was that toxins, when we come in exposure with them in any way, shape, or form, they do affect our body's ability to function optimally. So that's when I really started diving into essential oils and natural health and just all that encompasses, and teaching everybody about that, which landed me into another network marketing business. And at first I was like, I don't want to do this because I'm going to miss out on my child growing up and all the things. And what I found was that not all businesses are the same as far as the time that they require of you. So I fully embraced that. And then my next step was, gosh, back in May, I think, when Lacey invited me to 11-day reset. And Lacey's really particular about the things she puts on and in her body, just like I am. And so I didn't even really know what the 11-day reset was, but I thought, well, if Lacey's doing it, sure, I'll try it out and just kind of experiment with this and see what happens. I was at a stage in my life where I love my body. I love my curviness. I love everything about how my body supported me. I can look at my stretch marks and think they're amazing. Like, I'm just that kind of weird person that I'm all about aging gracefully, and I just don't really care about all the things as long as I feel good. And I thought that I felt great until I did the 11-day reset. And so many things shifted just in those 11 days that I was like, oh, apparently I can do more things to support my body. And I really got clear on identifying what those things were. And yeah, just continued to use the products. And then a few months ago, I shared my results, which I think at that time was about 25 pounds. And that's what the scale said anyway. That's what one of the results. And because of that, people started noticing, because it's very evident when you put a picture side by side what that looks like and how that can serve people in a way they see possibilities. And yeah, so it's just kind of been a beautiful thing. I love this whole earn while you learn thing because I don't know the comp plan. I just know that checks keep showing up, and I really love that. And if I can help other people earn money like that, I'm all in. So that's probably the last 25 years in a nutshell. Did that answer your question?
That did answer my question. I have loved watching Cynthia, because when I first reached out to her, I told Lacey, I was like, you got somebody under that's just like going at it. And she was like, and I talked to her before when she first started using the products, and she was like, okay, so if I order this many products every month, is it going to be this cost every single month? And I was like, yes. And I was like, but like leave room because you might want more products. She's like, no, this is what I want. And I was like, okay. And I told her, after she'd been using them for a while, I said, I just want to let you know there's a compensation plan attached to this to get your products paid for. If you ever want to share your results, because she had at that time had won a couple of our 11-day resets, just sharing her results. I said, if you ever want to share your results, there's a great compensation plan. She's like, okay, I'm not really interested, but thank you. And I was like, okay. And that's what I love, because she stayed in her lane and she knew when it was her time. And she knew what she wanted out of this, and she wasn't ready to take on anything else. But as she started to feel the results, she started to share it naturally. She wasn't trying to sell anything. And you're going to learn that here in just a minute when she shares how she builds relationships, how she has conversations. She wasn't trying to sell anyone. She was having conversations with people that were naturally interested and getting to know their need. And one of the coolest things to watch is if you've ever been in an isogenics training, they tell you how to enroll people. Say, share, do is kind of the thing. And it's beautiful. It's a great technique for people who have never been in network marketing, who don't really know how to have those conversations. But Cynthia is a conversationalist. She could probably talk to anyone and get to their pain point in like 5 minutes because she's asking the right questions. And that's important. What kind of questions are we asking to get to the root problem, a pain point, that we have the opportunity and the tools to solve that problem for them? Because that's ultimately, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do. We're trying to serve people with solutions that solve a problem for them. And we make it overcomplicated. I know I make it overcomplicated because it's simple. Is there something that we can help them with? If not, we stay in connection with them. We continue to build that connection. And I've probably sent over 200 plus messages this week. Like, my wrist, I feel like I need to put a brace on. It hurts so bad from typing and texting. But there have been many people who have said, I'm just not really interested in that now. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I would love to stay in connection with you and learn more about what you do, continue to build that. It's planting seeds, if nothing else. I'm going to share the documents that you have really quickly, if I can, that you sent me, and we'll kind of go through the questions, and you can tell us more about what this 5-part conversation is.
Okay, so
Can I just
Oh.
jump in, but before Cynthia goes? So Cynthia and I have been in the same program. So we've had some of the same training. And my sister, who's been in sales, has said to me, well, she asked you questions, right? And I'm like, well, I guess. And she's like, well, what did she do to like fine tune what you needed? And I'm like, honestly, I don't remember Cynthia asking me specific questions, although I know she did. I mean, I can see it better now than I could in the beginning, but Cynthia has led me along, just not like led me along, that sounds bad, but she realized I was interested in more natural stuff and getting healthier. And I don't recall her asking probing questions, even though I know the formula. So she's a natural, and I think it would help us all to hear that. Thanks.
thank you, Kathy. It's really nice to hear edifying words sometimes. So yes, I have conversations with people and I listen to them. And I listen with a really keen eye, and sometimes I take notes and sometimes I don't. But like a little example, when I had a conversation, somebody was interested about collagen earlier this week. And I was like, well, I'd love to chat with you and just kind of catch up on life, because this gal I've really been missing. She's actually a neighbor of mine, and we've been like 2 ships in the night. And so I wanted to know an update, like, how are you dealing with this pandemic? Because we all need to know this so that way we can be supporting each other, and however that might mean. So I had a conversation with her, and what I noted was she was telling me how stressful things are naturally, right? How she's really frustrated because she's lost a little bit of weight, but she's got about 10 pounds that she just can't seem to budge. And those 2 things, I was like, okay, well, she's stressed out and she wants to lose weight and she wants healthier skin. Like, awesome. So in my mind, I'm trying to identify her pain points. So she clearly laid them out. This was over about 45 minutes. But her pain points were exactly that: stress and losing weight. Oh, and she also was lacking energy in the afternoon. She's like, I just want to take a nap every day. Like, this is an issue. And guess what? We have a package for her, right? That's going on right now that will serve her in an optimal way. Collagen, ionics, and cleanse for life. Those will hit all those 3 nails on the head. So at the end of our conversation, she's like, well, how do I buy this collagen? And I said, well, do you mind if I create a custom package for you that has a link? All you have to do is just click it and it will serve all the needs that you told me about today. See how I responded to that? I didn't say, okay, I'll set you up a link with collagen. Now, when she did click on the link, she's like, I'm a little confused about what's in there. And I said, happy to explain to you. You told me how stressed out you are, and this product I will never live without, because it is incredible on how I have responded to things with somewhat of a gracious attitude throughout this pandemic. I believe is because of ionics. She's like, oh, okay, that'll help me with stress. I said, yep, it's B vitamins and herbs called adaptogens, and they're great for stress and energy. She's like, okay, well, what's this cleanse thing? And I said, well, I think that your body's having a hard time releasing toxins, and that's why you can't get rid of that last 10 pounds. So if you'd like to try this too, all of this stuff has a 30-day money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose by trying these out. She's like, oh, okay. So she enrolled with this huge package. Why? Because I listened. All I did was listen to her, and I had a friendship conversation. We connected. We have a coffee date on the calendar, and she's getting some awesome products, and we're going to give her fantastic support throughout this next 21 days. So that was that. Okay. So what was the question here? 5-part conversation. Any questions about that? Like how I showed up for her? That was kind of following what Kathy said and how I have conversation, ask questions. Nope. Okay, cool. So this 5-part conversation is all about knowing really clearly who you are, number one, and declaring that, what you do, so, and who you serve. And I call this an avatar. So when you are thinking about the people that you want to serve, that doesn't mean you're not going to serve other people. It simply means by getting really clear about who you want to serve, then you can find out what their pain points are or what their problems are, like what keeps them up at night. If they wake up at 4 in the morning, what are they thinking about? And for my people, that is stress. They're overwhelmed and they're stressed out. And that's what keeps them up at night. That's all these things. And so that gives me the opportunity to then talk to those pain points when I'm doing any kind of marketing. This is called soft marketing. So anytime I make a post on Facebook, or if any kind of social media, or if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'll just plug in different pain points if they're a person that I want to serve. So the people that I want to serve, I forgot to tell you who that is. I want to serve professional women and entrepreneurs. It could be different for you, but get clear on that. So that way you can start asking them when I'm talking with a professional woman or an entrepreneur, sometimes to keep relevant, I will ask them, what keeps you up at night? If you're stressed out and you're not sleeping well, what is it that's going on in your mind? So those are the pain points. Okay. And then you want to get really clear on what your services are. So this is part 3. Through my service that I offer, blank, I help them with a blank resolution, result, solution. So for that, for me, I would say through my private coaching practice. So this is outside of Isogenics, but not really. It's also a part of Isogenics. I help professional women and entrepreneurs get results. Go back up. So I help them reduce stress and overwhelm. Simple. Those are their words. Repeatedly, the people that I would talk to, the professional women would say, I am stressed and I'm overwhelmed. That's what keeps me up at night. Okay, so fill in the blanks there. Then a short testimonial. This is part 4 of a conversation or an elevator speech, or when anybody asks me what it is that I do. Part 4 is a testimonial. So like a little success story about somebody that has come to me and told me about their experience. So in one version of this script that I have, I talk about my friend Lisa, who was so impressed and got such great results that she was able to show up at work better. And because she had reduced stress and overwhelm in her life, she can now have meaningful dinner conversations with her family instead of being distracted. So those were 2 things. In fact, she had such great results that she enrolled her husband in my program. I mean, that doesn't tell you something, right? And then part 5 is pretty much, do you know anyone who would benefit from my solution? Oh, I need a little typo there. Solution, my results solution. Okay, do you want to, Katie, send the link to people so they can actually access this document and print it or fill it out?
I'll stop sharing really quick and I will, where do y'all want it? In Messenger or in the Telegram app?
You could put it in this chat too, so they can access it without leaving.
Oh, duh. I always forget about this chat. Okay. Click
There you
on
go. So if you want to open this or print it out real quick, you can. Or if you just want to keep notes, then we'll continue by showing the screen. Are there any questions so far before we do this little exercise and fill it out? Okay, good. I'm giving you all the information you need.
Any of y'all feel like when you're talking about either, see, what keeps them up at night? This is something that is easy for me to think about before I even know who it is. And I'm like, well, what are my pain points? What are the things? Because typically you're going to serve someone that's like you. This helped me the other day. I was like, well, what keeps me up at night? What am I stressed about? Well, the oil field shutting down, finances, juggling motherhood with small kids and keeping my sanity without being overwhelmed. And I was like, oh, it's me. Hey, it's me. Understanding this is the key to everything, because when someone's talking to you about, things that could serve you, what turns you off was like instantly, meh, no thanks. Like, I'm not interested in that. I don't have time for that, because it will be the same for the women that you're serving, the families that you're serving. Whatever doesn't appeal to you more than likely won't appeal to them. If you're someone who's like, I can't invest more than $150 on myself every month, you're probably going to find a lot of women like that, unless you change. It's broad, because mine was like stay-at-home moms and then professional mompreneurs. Like, I want to work with both. So I'm going to have both ends of the spectrum, women who struggle with mom guilt to, invest in their own health. And then women who are like, give me all the things, whatever makes my life simple, like bring it on. And I think sometimes that can cause a little bit of frustration on my end, but, okay. Are we ready to scroll down?
No, go back up. I want to piggyback on that, the pain points. If you aren't sure what keeps them up at night, ask them. It's as simple as whatever social media that you use. Say, hey, I'm doing some market research. I'm curious, what keeps you up at night? If you are feeling restless and you're waking up at 3 or 4 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep, what's going through your mind? Just ask. And then the people that respond, if they're not who it is that you want to serve, you're still gaining valuable information. But this is just a simple interview. You could also send a text message like to all the people who are the people that you want to serve. Just say, hey, I'm doing some market research, so that way I can stay relevant and make sure that I'm serving people well. What are your pain points? Maybe not, don't call it pain points. This is why I have in parentheses, what keeps you up at night? Because they're like, my knee. I've got a pain point, a pain in my neck. It's called my husband. No, I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead and go down. So this is what you're going to fill out right now. So really quick, this is just going to be a brain dump. This is your first draft of creating this conversation so you can start practicing it. So first of all, what's your niche? So for me, I'm a natural health and mental fitness coach. That does not have to be you. It probably isn't you because you're not me. But what is it that you want to call yourself? And think a little bit about who it is that you want to appeal to. For me, I want to appeal to people. The reason why I call myself a natural health coach, I want to appeal to people who have been on medications for a long time and they're not working, or they have side effects and they hate the side effects. So I'm all about natural health. And mental fitness, I think that is the key to a long, awesome life, is getting your head on straight. And I have lots of tools around that. So mindset, some people might say mindset coach. Anyway, that's me, not you, but it could be. Then name your ideal clients. I support blank. This is step 2. Who is it that you want to serve? I already mentioned, for me, it's professional women and entrepreneurs. And just by declaring this over and over again, guess who I am attracting? Professional women and entrepreneurs. In the beginning, no, it wasn't that. It was always people who didn't have any money, which is really great because then you can give them the business opportunity. But now I'm attracting people who have money to spend. They just have stress and overwhelm. Okay, does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. Step 3, your client's desired outcome. And this is where the pain point comes in. So I help my clients reduce stress and overwhelm. I help my clients lose weight, have better energy throughout the day, figure out whatever that is. This is where that market research comes into play, or just scroll Facebook and look at all the things people are complaining about. That's where I started out, actually. I just figured out what it was that they were all complaining about and what it all had in common. So it's just being attuned to people. Number 4, this is where 4, 5, and 6. I used to have a huge, what I call fraudulent Frank complex. And I'm sure Kathy can talk about that sometime. But anything that I ever did, or when I would come in contact with professional women, I felt small because they were better than me. They had more schooling. They had a better bank account, like all the things that just got in my way of actually serving them, which is just a bunch of lies and junk, because we all have wisdom to share. So by listing out my accomplishments, this is going to help me get rid of the whole fraudulent Frank complex. So that way I can truly just state out facts. What are my accomplishments? And everybody has 3 of them at least that are going to create your unique qualifications for serving people, whatever it might be. And the beautiful thing about this is you really only need to be one step ahead of somebody else in order to be relatable to them. So whatever it is that you're doing, you're just a little bit ahead of the people that you want to serve. Those are the people that are going to show up. And I'm going to give you examples of my accomplishments here in a second. Oh, well, I told you one earlier. So coach number 1 accomplishment is I have 20 years of serving people and helping them have successful businesses. Number 1. Number 2, recently I got really passionate and clear about that I wanted to serve people's emotional needs. So I became certified as an emotion code practitioner. So that's my unique accomplishment number 2. And accomplishment number 3 is that I've helped over 250 people reach their health and wellness goals. And I've invested over 1,000 hours over the last 2 years in personal coaching development. Now, again, these are just me. I don't want you to compare. Don't get into like comparison mode, because I'm serving different people than you. And that's the beautiful thing about this kind of business, is there's room for all of us. Everybody needs to be loved on by somebody, and your people are not my people. So no worries there. All right, number 7, how many spots are available in your upcoming program? You've seen Katie do this a million times. She'll post something every month on, hey, I have this program coming up and I have 10 people that I want to serve. So plug that in there. And number 8, how long is your offering? So whether it be 11 days, 14 days, 30 days, 21 days, 3 weeks, whatever it is. And then how much it is to enroll in your program, or whatever it is that you're offering. So right now it's around $200. Pretty simple, right? Not too bad. Some things might stretch you a little bit and feel uncomfortable, but that's okay. We're all growing.
Say that when you list out, like if you're doing this in a post and you list out what you're going to be providing and then who you're looking for, you disqualify a lot of people that way. So people are like, I'm not ready to commit to that. They won't even comment, or they'll message you and they'll be like, well, how much is it? Because I don't hardly ever put the price on my post, but it's in my stories. I'm always open about sharing the cost of getting started. And that invites questions for, well, how long do I have to pay that much money? Is this a constant fee? Is this, like, what is it? But when you break down your qualifications and how you're coaching someone, I love that you said you only need to be one step ahead of people that you want to serve. Like, that is such a true statement, because I think as a coach who coaches on strategy, I'm like, oh, I need to have all of these things, and I need to have 6 figures, and I need to have all of this stuff. Well, as Cynthia has mentioned to me on Tuesday, she was like, Katie, you've made X amount of money, but you've traveled across the country, you've had 3 kids, you've had to flex in so many different ways, you've changed companies and continued to build. She's like, I mean, I would say that you've made a lot more money than that. It's just not what you're getting paid in Isogenics. And I was like, oh, that is so good. Because sometimes that's what we need to be reminded, is that we are one step ahead of someone. Our goals, our story, our testimony with these products, with a company, with building a team, it may look different. You see people who run to the top super fast. My sponsor built to 6 figures in 11 months and had a full-time job and 2 kids. Like, but she doesn't sleep. And I love her for that, because she's the Energizer Bunny, but that's not my personality. And for so long, I got stuck in comparison because it's just not me.
Mhm.
And instead, Cynthia helped me realize this week, like, what I'm doing is incredible. Like, I was so proud of myself after that conversation. She edified me. Like, you should be so proud of yourself because you have done these things. You're making changes. It may not look like what other people are doing, but deep down inside, you know where your priorities are based where you're spending your time. And I was like, that's it right there, because that's what I coach women on, is how to live a life based on priorities, how to run a business, how to raise a family, how to juggle both things based on your priorities. And at this point in stage of the game, my priorities are my family. My priorities are at home and with my girls, and building a business. While I want it to be full-time, I don't have the brain cells for that all of the time. And so it's still part-time, but it's still blessing our family financially. It's still blessing people. I've served over 210 women in the last 3 years while having babies and traveling and doing all of those things. And that just kind of took me a second to realize, like, it may not look like everyone else, and it's not supposed to, but you're still doing good things. And so I just want to I'm so thankful for you, Cynthia. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Absolutely my pleasure. So that's what I do in my other part of life, coaching, holding the mirror up for people so they can actually see what's true and what's fact for them. You know, and I just reflected all the information back to you. You're just like, oh, now I can eat it because somebody served it to me in a different way. Good.
That's exactly it. It wasn't my self-critical going, well, that's not good enough. You should be farther along. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Instead of focusing on the should, it's like, but you did do this. You did accomplish this. You have achieved this. Like, it doesn't look the way it looks for everyone else, but who knows what it looks like when it's behind closed doors for them too, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always something interesting to think about. Okay, so once you have your framework in place, you got all those steps filled in. This is so this conversation really is about, ideally, if I were presenting myself, like if I were recording a video and I wanted to sell a program. So just to give you a little idea of what this ideally is for and how it creates a framework for all other things. So the reason why the introduction is laid out the way that it is to state myself as a professional and who it is that I serve, and to get, okay, let me ask you, when you watch a commercial, are you actually watching all the details of it? Are you able to engage? Are you wondering how much it is? And you're waiting for that bomb to drop at the end. Finally, they told me how much it is. Because that's how our brains are wired. We want to know what's in it for me. Right? How much is this going to cost? Because that's important to me. So by stating this right at the beginning, you set those people at ease. So that way they can go, okay, well, I know what the price is. Now what's it all about? So I don't necessarily write the price out in my posts. I actually don't talk about money at all. So this is just a little framework so you can use it in all different ways. Okay, so this looks like, hi, my name is Cynthia Maloney, and as a natural health and mental fitness coach, I support professional women and entrepreneurs to address stress and overwhelm, to reduce stress and overwhelm. In just 21 days, my clients experienced a dramatic shift in their health and wellness through my coaching and using our Fast to Flourish program for an investment price of $200. Are you someone looking to reduce stress and overwhelm this month? I ask because I'm uniquely qualified to help professional women and entrepreneurs because let's see if I can remember all these. Because I have over 20 years of coaching people to reach their business goals. I've also become certified as an emotion code practitioner, as well as, what did I say for number 3? Let me look at my papers here. As well as coaching over 250 people to reach their unique health goals and investing over 1,000 hours over the last 2 years in coaching certifications. Okay, everything I've done throughout my life and career has brought me to this moment. Health and nutrition is vital given all the stress, triggering, and uncertainty that we see in the world today, is it not? While everyone can benefit from strengthening their mind and body, I believe that professional women and entrepreneurs are the key to creating lasting world change. That's why I, Cynthia Maloney, am a natural health and mental fitness coach, and I am committed to supporting professional women and entrepreneurs to reduce stress and overwhelm. I have 10 spots available in my next cohort that starts on February 1st. So I'm curious, what additional information or insight do you need to say yes, or to share this with someone you know who would benefit from my program? So really simply, it's really a magical thing. You know, the first time that I actually read this to somebody, it was with another coach, and it was a male coach who serves an entirely different clientele. And he was like, whoa, wow, really? Oh, like the whole thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I sound amazing. It was so fun. So,
but honestly, I bet if most of us wrote out what our experience was, wrote out how we serve people, wrote out how we show up in the world professionally, I bet most of us would be like, dang, I am qualified. I am so qualified. Yeah.
I'm so bomb.
I am so awesome.
Right?
You cannot wait to work with me. But that's the kind of confidence that it brings. Like, I hear the confidence when you're speaking. I heard the confidence when I was like, this is what I do. This is who I serve. It makes sharing so simple because you're clear. You're 100% clear on who you serve and who you don't serve. I don't want to serve men. They're wonderful creatures sometimes, but that's not my thing. Like, I want to serve women who are in the same season of life, who, you know, are tired of being stressed by finances, tired of being overwhelmed in life, and ready for something different. And it made such a difference this week. Such a difference.
Fantastic. See, that's what it's all about. And here's what I did. So I took that conversation, and it was really interesting because just a couple hours later, I'm in this group of ladies who, let's see, what group was that? Oh, I have a friend who sells cabbie clothing. And she posted, she's like, hey, I noticed that there's a lot of entrepreneurs in my group. And I think this is really awesome because I love helping entrepreneurs feel their best. And I'm wondering if you have a business that you're doing right now, if you would like to list it below, so that way we can all support each other. And I'm like, damn straight. And all I did is I went and I copied and I put it in a Word document, my conversation that I just wrote out. I put it in a Word document, edited it very slightly, and that's how I responded. And you just never know what's going to come of that and what kinds of seeds they're planting. I can't tell you how many times I had somebody send me a message, like, I don't even know how long later, they didn't engage in my post, they didn't like, they didn't comment. And yet they send me a message and they're like, I've been wondering what you've been doing because I see that you're having some blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they've been reading my stuff. You just never know. You never know who's hanging out in the background watching.
Bunch of creeps. Got a bunch of creeps on social media. Okay, do you want to go into the next one, or do you want them to I mean, it's not that long, but it's up to you.
Oh, the insights and next steps?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's go ahead and show that. So this just kind of wraps up that little exercise on that document. Just to help you get really clear. So once you've done the 5-minute, the 5-part conversation, you'll just write out a little declaration for yourself, like how it is that you want to engage in your tribe. You've heard of SMART goals, probably. I think I've heard you reference them, Katie, so I figured everyone knows what they are. But if you don't, it means that they're specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And so you're going to make a little declaration for yourself of how you're going to show up using this 5-part conversation as a template. So that way you are attracting people that are in your community that want to be part of your program. So that's your little task for the next 24 hours, is to complete this at some point. And then I gave my little sample conversation that I read out, so you can kind of see how that all comes together. And again, you'll just take this, once you have it done, it's done. And we're doing so much communicating by text and like all kinds of text conversations, right? So you can edit this and make it exactly what it is that you need to serve whoever it is that you're talking to with whatever conversation. Or you could record a video. I plan on doing that with another program that I'm coaching through here in a little bit. But it's fluid and it's flexible, and you can plug in whatever it is with new information. But just having that kind of outline is liberating. It's so great.
So how do you feel like this has helped you sharing isogenics?
Well, I can just take the template and tweak it a little bit. Like when today I'm going to text a few people that have fallen off a little bit. They already enrolled, but I want to re-engage them for, I want to make sure that they have everything that they need to start on February 1st with us. So I'm just going to go in and use the same template, but modify it so it's talking to the person that it is that I'm sending messages to. Or maybe like earlier today, I was just thinking of somebody who I want to serve, a professional woman. She's also an entrepreneur, and she's an executive coach. And I was like, yep, Kathy knows who she is. I just sent her a message and I was like, hey, I sent them a little GIF that has the slideshow that Katie worked on earlier a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, something like that. The Fast to Flourish 21 days. I edited it, made it my own, sent it to her. And she's like, oh, well, should I set up a group of people? I'm like, yes, please. She's like, okay, well, let's promote it here, here, and here. Like, it totally spoke to her just because I said, hey, I want to invite you to engage in this opportunity. You're already doing some of these things, and I just would really love to support you and to host you this month. And she took that as oh, well, I want to host a group for her, which was great.
That works awesome. That works awesome. I like that. I want to host you this month.
Yeah, so I hope this was useful for you, and you got lots of tips and tools and little nuggets and treasures, and you got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Anybody have any questions for Cynthia while we got her here? Any questions, any comments, anything you're excited about? I really do want you guys to take some time to fill this out, because the problems that we're having in conversations, that many of us are having in conversations, comes directly back to not knowing who you're speaking to. Comes like when you feel frazzled when you're having a conversation and someone wants to know more information, it just goes back to speaking to your ideal customer and client, asking them what is their pain point, what's keeping them up at night, and then providing a solution to that need. Cynthia, in the first couple of months that she started enrolling people, were enrolling with 500-600 points. And if you know, a value pack is 350 points. So that's like multiple of things. And I asked her, I was like, oh my gosh, your points are ridiculous. What are you doing? She's like, I'm just meeting a need. Like, I'm just making suggestions on what we're talking about. They're stressed, they're overwhelmed, they're having, gut issues. They're like, I'm just listening. And she knows enough about the products based on what she's used to recommend things. And that's it. You don't have to be an expert at products. You don't have to be Dr. Plant, who knows everything about everything that's ever been created. He's wonderful. But we have tools to reference those things that we don't know. We have the Google or whatever other search engine that you use. to pull it up and just be like, okay, what is the greens? Like, what's so special about them? Read real quick. Okay, so the greens are a combination of 25 different botanicals that are going to make you feel amazing, light your skin up, give you a boost of greens fresh in the morning, like whatever it is, you make that. But like, that's it. It's just being able to serve your ideal client and to be able to serve them with confidence, to know that you have solutions that change people's life. You are attached to a compensation plan that can radically shift your financial future, and being confident in that based on starting with the pain point of products. And not everyone will buy it. Like I said, Cynthia, when I first told her about it, she's like, "Meh, I'm good." I'm like, "Okay, awesome." But then she's come back and now she's like, "Okay, me and Kathy need to learn how to do this," because we're like signing all these people up. And I'm like, "Okay, awesome. Let's get on the phone." And that's where it gets easy. That's where it gets fun, because now she's hit 5 cycles. She made the 5-cycle bonus. She's rank advanced to manager. She's helping her people enroll who are enrolling, and they're excited and it's fun. And that's what it's meant to be. And I guarantee it's because she knows who she's speaking to. She knows how she serves them, and she's showing up authentically as the woman that serves them. And I just feel like that's the link that we're missing. That's the link that we missed last year. That's the link I was missing last year. And I'm so, like, I can't say enough. I am grateful for generational connections through Isogenics, because Lacey is my BFF. And then we've got Cynthia, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite people. And now we've got Kathy, who's hilarious. And I mean, it just continues to build and to grow. And it's such a special thing. So does anybody have any questions, comments, closing remarks? Everybody good? Everybody good? Okay.
I will just say, because Cynthia and I clearly know each other,
Yeah.
but this technique is very simple and it works really well. And it takes a little bit of practice. And when I first, because I came out of a corporate career and it was just weird, but Cynthia is one person I know who can do it without ever being awkward. I was always a little bit awkward, but it is a winning approach, and it's just, it's just amazing. And for me, just the results I've seen and that I can show from me or from Cynthia or even from you, Katie, from my niece, it's just so much easier to sell than some of the other stuff that like executive coaching or whatever. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and it would be good to practice.
It is. It's good to practice. It's good to get excited about. And I think today, I really want you guys to take time to do this today. Take some time today, write it down, and then look at, this is what I have been doing. I'm just going to share this little tidbit, because I have been not sleeping because I've had a child that's been up all hours of the night. And so at the end of every day, I make a list of the conversations with people that I want to have. I've been specifically looking for people that I want to talk to. And I may not complete all of these conversations because it's kind of a lot, but I write them down. And whether that be 3, 5, 10 people a day that you want to have conversations with, because they are your professional women and mompreneurs, or they are your professional women and medical workers, or they are professional women and homeschool moms. Like, whatever your niche is. What, baby? We had an hour. You're writing them down and you're making a conscious effort to connect with them because they fit that profile. And they're someone that you desire to work with based on what you're seeing so far. And maybe you'll get in the conversation and it'll be like, not really my people. Like, I've gone through my downline so many times today, and I've printed out pages and pages and pages. And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to connect with them anymore. It's not because they're not good people, but they're not my people. Don't chase someone with a pulse just because you feel like you need to make sales. That's not authentic, and that will lead you down a very strange road. If the people that you worked with before, you don't want to work with them anymore, send them general emails, invite them to join you. Who knows, something may have changed for them. But set out this year to pursue this with an air of, I have a gift to offer people. I have something that will bless people for generations to come. Here's how I show up. Here's how I serve. Here's what I know that I can bring to the table. And I see different gifts in each of you. And so you each have something to offer. You each have a special gift to offer the world. But I want more than anything this year for us to be unafraid to do that, for us to walk into spaces. And Kathy, as you were talking, like I was envisioning us at our next event. Hopefully we get to go together, but envisioning us at our next event and having people speaking and having different women from our team walk up and present to the new people of our team that aren't even here yet. You have to have a bigger vision. Like I said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not just based on 1 week. Like you may have only signed one person in the last 2 months, but what are you envisioning for the rest of the year? Who do you want to serve for the rest of the year? How do you want to show up for the rest of the year? And what do you want to see for yourself? Do you want to make $5,000? Do you want to make $10,000? Do you want to make $100,000? How many people do you need to serve to get there? Can you do that with the people that you're currently trying to serve? Or would you say, no, if I keep doing what I'm doing now, I'm going to be burnt out and tired and frustrated with my results, just like I was last year, because that was me. I was chasing stupid things. But this has allowed me to see that I have value. I have something to offer people. I have results that other people don't have. And I am one step ahead of the women that I want to serve. That is such a gold piece right there. So with that, let's hop off here. Let's get to work. I'm so proud of you guys, like all of you. I'm so proud of every single one of you. I am incredibly blessed that this is our team. I cannot wait to see what is in store for the next several months and just what's to come with the Fast to Flourish group. So last thing before we go, Fast to Flourish kicks off February 1st. This is a paid group. This is not for unpaid members. They can hang out in the Hello Healthy, but we want to make sure that we are putting our focus on the people that are paying for our time. We want to support them. We want to watch them grow. And that's fun to do when they have invested in themselves. People that aren't willing to invest are not ready to go yet. We want the people who are ready to go, which will build momentum in our businesses and our teams and get exciting. So we will host it in the Mighty Networks group. We will also host it in the Telegram. I don't know how that's going to work yet. I'm figuring that out. There is a board on Trello that I've shared the link for you guys, and I'll email it to you all this evening. But there's a board on Trello where you can go in and you can input information. If you have specific things that you want to add, to share, to pass around with people. It's called Fast to Flourish 2021. We'll use that kind of as like a springboard for the things that are to come. I've added the 21-day prayer and fasting guide in there. You can also find it on the YouVersion app. We've got the Calm app. I've got 2 books that I will give people my Audible login for, Atomic Habits and Badass Habits. Both are really great books to help people build mindful habits as we're doing this, to help the women that we're serving build mindful habits. So if y'all have any questions about that, let me know. We'll get all the details carried out, but make sure if you are enrolling people for this, the deadline to order is Wednesday because of how long things are taking to get in, so that they have their products hopefully by February 1st. Yeah. So anybody have any questions? Oh, hello, puppy dog.
Oh, can you see her?
Nose.
She's pregnant.
Aw. What kind of dog is it?
Where can you see her? She is a standard poodle and she is pregnant with doodles, golden doodles.